Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and it is Friday. So you're going to get your weekly Manhattan market update. John, let's get right to it. I'm looking at supply on UrbanDigs chart 6850. Show me that chart.
There you go, Noah, 6850. As always, you get the number right. That's a slight downtick again, and we've been saying supply has been downticking for a while, so this should not be surprising to anybody.
Yeah, and we'll go to the ticker and we'll explain what's going on and why that's going down in just one moment. Until then, I'm going to go read the numbers on UrbanDigs. That's how I know it, Johnny. I'm looking at pending sales, measure of demand, 5475. Show me that chart.
Well, Noah, I hate to break it to you, but that is actually down from last week by a whopping 2 contracts. So it's, it's essentially flat, but, down by 2.
I think the market will get over it considering where we have come from. That is an unbelievable chart, but it is noteworthy to point out that it is down a little bit. We did mention as you climb up this wall of worry, it takes a lot of stuff to go into contract to continue that trajectory up. We are not seeing that relative pace of stuff. We're still high, but we're down relative. So that could mean pending sales is toppy. Let's go to the weeklies and see some clues there. I'm on the 1 week trends. Supply, 334 things came on the market. Show me that chart.
Yeah, 334. Again, that's another down mark, down about 4% or so from the week before. I look at summer. I don't think anybody's surprised there's not a lot of supply coming on at this time of year.
That's correct. This is the summer. Surprisingly, John, August and September are our slowest months. So we're still in the third slowest calendar month of the year, but still you are correct. We are in the summer general tick down, but let's look at demand because I mean, it is ticking down, right? We used to talk when these were the 300s all the time. It's at 282, but my God, 282 is still a lot. Johnny, show me the chart.
It is a lot. I mean, look, it's up 7% from last week, which was, down around 260, but I mean, listen, we've been talking a while now about sort of the summer slowdown in terms of contract activity. If we're slowing down to 200 contracts a month in July, a week, that's awesome. That's the kind of slowdown that people like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we are relatively slowing down from a few months ago, but historically speaking, that is very strong for this time of year. And I would just like to point out, we always like to add things up over here. What you're seeing, there's more stuff leaving the market than coming on. Right. And when you look at the monthlies, it makes more sense. All right. So there's 1,462 things coming on. That's down 24%.
Right.
So new listing pace on a bigger scale of 4 weeks is pacing down at a faster clip than contracts signed. That's the interesting thing. So supply is falling faster than deal volume. So you have 1,300 things going into contract, 810 things coming off the market. That's like a net deduction of 550 things. That is why supply is going down, Johnny.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So even though contract signs is ticking down, even though it's quote unquote slowing down, you're not necessarily going to see it in the field unless you're looking at something that's really overpriced to begin with, because anything that's reasonably priced is flying off the shelf still, despite slowdown talk.
Exactly. And now that we know this 1,300 30-day pace, right? We're in the middle of July, right? So we have the 1,300 30-day pace. Let me go to my monthly contract activity chart. I always like to look at the spreads on this chart, okay? If you're not familiar with this is in the UrbanDigs chart room, monthly contract activity, and you got the blue line that's showing you the 9-year average. You got the orange line that's showing you the last print. And if I had to just extend this dot out to where the 1,300 is, that's right around here. Right. So this is going down. And this is what we were talking about 6-7 weeks ago, that, we're probably going to have a sell signal forming is when this starts going down. So we're strong. We're still going to be above the average, but the pace is going down. So that is the thing to keep an eye on. And that's what we're going to report back to you, Johnny. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And what do you mean by sell signal? Which means that if you're trying to sell, now's a fantastic time if you're priced right, because it'll still fly off the shelves. If you wait until that the recent average crosses that 9-year seasonal average, by that time it might linger on the market a lot longer. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's all about bids. It's all about bids. It's all about liquidity. It's all about the bids, all about the buyers, and that's what we're talking about in terms of sell signal. I mean, sellers need to understand that if they're not trading, if they're not getting activity, is it a market problem? Is there something wrong with the market? Or is there something wrong with my price, right? It could be a product problem. We always discuss that, right? You should know that. But if it's not the market, that's the point. Even though we are fading a little, It's still so strong, relatively speaking, that this is a seller's market. And if you're not selling, it's your price. You got to lower it.
Yeah,
Wake up to the market.
spoiler alert, it's a price problem.
Yeah, and I mean, if I had to guess, we're at early 2019, late 2018 levels. We're not at 2015. We're not at 2016. We're not at 2007. We've just made up the COVID discount. Maybe we're a little higher now. As time goes on, we're getting a little higher. So we're back at 2019 levels at best, late 2018. So you have to have a clear head on where we are right now. Okay. Let's shift to rentals, Johnny. Let's shift to rentals. This is really interesting. Okay. This is showing us median asking rents going back to January 2020, okay? And we don't really, I mean, the data on rentals is tricky at best, right? Everyone knows that because of concessions and we don't have the actual rental price and all that stuff. So we look at asking rents. We're looking at inventory. What are my options out there and what is the median asking rent, and give me the trends. And when I look at this chart, I don't know what you see, but it kind of, the bottom was like November, December. I guess I should use a different color here, but November, December, right around here, that looks like the bottom to me. And we are starting the process of recovery. That is definitely in play right now on the rental market.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, I mean, just looking at the overall shape, not necessarily paying attention to where any specific single bar is, but just the general grouping of the bars. And you kind of see that sort of saddle shape right down there, November, December. It kind of levels out after that. And it looks to me, just looking at sort of the overall average of all of them, they start ticking up April, May, June.
Yeah, it looks like this market, April does look like that pivot point. And I mean, I was on a Clubhouse with Phil Horrigan, and there was Fritz Freegan on there, and he did correct me a little bit, and he did say that we are recovering since about April, and this data does confirm that. Fritz Freegan is unbelievable, and we are going up in the rental market, and I don't know how this trend doesn't sustain itself for at least a little while, because the rental market is very early in its recovery. Very early in its recovery. The Manhattan sales market, we started recovering from last July and August.
Yeah.
The rental market took a lot longer. So there's legs here. And I mean, we're in the summer season. We could see an extended rental season going into next year. Very interesting. Now, when we look at this in a different view, okay, this I don't want to confuse people, right? But this is the same kind of chart, but we're putting every single sub-neighborhood in there. Every single sub-neighborhood. I don't want you to look at each sub-neighborhood's data. That's not what the purpose of this chart. The purpose of this chart was to kind of show the exact same general trend, to confirm what we saw before, that December was, in fact, November, December looks to be the bottom, and that we are starting to go up here a little bit. That's the only purpose of this chart.
Yep. Okay,
moving straight on. And finally, John, why don't you explain this final rental chart to everybody?
So now we're looking at sort of rental recovery for the main neighborhoods. And I'll change that title when we put this in the chart for our subscribers. But basically, this is the change in rent since that low period, November, December last year, to what it is in June, July right now. And essentially, I mean, you're looking at the main neighborhoods and downtowns, rents are up 20% from where they were. The Upper East Side is bringing up the rear at about, 7.5%. But when you talk about rental increases in general, these are pretty solid numbers now.
Yeah, so right, this is the rental recovery. This is now, we're just kind of cherry picking here. We're looking at the bottom and we're looking at where we are now, and we're kind of aggregating all together and see what the bounce was. And in case you're wondering, when I look at downtown leading the pack here, and I look at Midtown as second, I think that's more of a function as those two neighborhoods probably got hit most. Yeah. And when you do this type of analysis and you see the neighborhoods that are hit most, and then you're analyzing from that trough to where we are now, it's natural that those markets that got hit the most will have a bounce back. And I think that's what's going on in downtown and Midtown. But nonetheless, it is very interesting to see that the asking rents in all of Manhattan's main neighborhoods over the last 7 months, that's what this is. This is how much they are going up. And if you're a renter out there looking at a pool of inventory today versus 7 months ago, this is what the median asking price is at a higher level. That's all this is showing. It is what it is, Johnny.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And also there's a lot of, misconceptions out there, because a lot of folks think that, oh gosh, Midtown is, completely deserted. I'm going to get a steal there. And what this chart is telling us is that, as a renter, if you're looking for leverage in your negotiations, it's just not there at the moment.
Yeah, very interesting. Johnny, thank you for pulling up all that data. That is John Walkaby. I am Noah Rosenblatt. We are both of UrbanDigs. Don't forget, if you got questions, we got answers, visit our forum. Other than that, this has been your weekly Manhattan market update, and we'll catch you next time.